We're getting into the top 12. It's Maid and Experience on the Classic Chronics, one of the absolute best team comps in the game, if you ask them, and if you ask me as well.
Yeah, and of course, everybody's new favorite home, Apocalypse. This is the end of days for many. And the end of the bracket runs, we're going to see an early stock already going away on the Fiend. Fiend have no time whatsoever to get something started. That was really fast.
That cannon can be so devastating in twos. There are not a lot of people who play it. Experience is absolutely one of the best.
Yes.
That's why he was able to take out Fiend so early. And Fiend, we know, Fiend is a stock tank, even though he's playing a lower defense legend coming out with the Hattori. Let's see, what stance is he on? He is on the defense stance. So he's going from 4 to 5. That's going to give him a little bit more survivability, but Experience is going to say, defense be darned, I'm going to send you down with a ground pound. I'm going to end that stock so early. He's looking to extend the edge guard against Wess. Meanwhile, on the right side, Fiend fending off Maid. Fiend comes in, but just throws a side signature. Isn't able to really relieve any pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, Experience has just kind of been piecing everybody up by himself from the left, too. Like, nobody's been able to stop any of his edge guards. He's going to go chase off the soft platform. Gets the Sarah, continues to push. High recovery from Fiend, smartly using that dare to get back down. But every time they get in the middle, the blue team is continuously getting separated as we see Wess disappear.
Dude, Experience is going crazy right now. It has been like a minute and 10 seconds into this game. He is going crazy. We have to see the graph from him after this, because he's not taking too much damage. He's putting out so much damage. Experience is doing a tremendous job. Maid is doing a good job following up. This game is being quote-unquote like carried by Experience in that he's just like doing everything perfectly, and Maid is just also doing everything really well.
I mean, look at them off stage. They are lower, and they're still controlling that 2v1 perfectly. Wess has no options. Gonna go for a full charge recovery to try and catch Experience slipping, but they still are sitting both in the red on their first stock. They have not lost one yet. Looking for Fiend to get something started, but it's been so difficult as he tries to get him with that GCD light, and he just gets reversed.
Fiend is a very cheeky player. Like, we know that from all of his weapon tosses, the way he can play unarmed against people when he's at the weapon disadvantage, and yet the cheekiness is not catching Maid. It's not catching Experience. Wesley tried to do something cheeky as well, like that recovery that you called out, but no, Experience was right there, floating straight up and down, didn't get caught, and grabbed the punish off of it.
And that's going to be one right there. Wess is now leaving Fiend up to his own self, but luckily Experience got sent away. That could have been a lot worse. That doesn't really seem to matter, though. His Experience going to chase after Wess. Wess is in the yellow, and it doesn't matter. They're still trying to get rid of him.
Experience's chase there was amazing. Maid's going to actually pick up the kill on to Fiend, taking him out of the game. It is 4 stocks to 1. Let's see Maid and Wess in the 1v1. He just waits it out. Waits it out simply, hits the sidelight into the recovery.
Yeah, there's many times we try to remain eternal optimists for a long period of time, but that game belonged to Experience. At 565 damage, only 200 taken in the middle of that. He had 3 of the KOs. He lined up everything phenomenally. It just felt like Maid didn't have to stress because all he had to do was line it up for Experience to pop off, and Fiend being so early on that last stock, how do you rebound from that when he's playing that good? You start thinking about game 2.
This red team is looking phenomenal right now. This is looking like already a top 3, if not a top 2, if not a tournament-winning team. And like, we're going to call it this early in the bracket because there is still some room to go. They're not even in the top 4 yet. In fact, they're a set before the qualifier for that. And you can see, we didn't even get to look at the graph because we are going right on into this next one. Maid and Experience want to capitalize off of all of the momentum that they have.
Yeah, when you're hot, you're hot. You don't want to stop. You want to keep things going. And I mean, you were talking about the cannon. Like, cannon has been sporting good wins. I mean, it's the BCX champ weapon. You're talking about how good he's been playing here. This cannon has been so good for Experience because he was switching a ton between legends for a little bit, but now this has been working so well. Like you said, the cross Onyx play has been dominant for them, but at least right now it looks like Wess and Fiend, up until that point, we're doing much better to start off game 2.
Yeah, if you look at the top right of your screen, it's reasonably even. If you look at Wess, he's the one taking the greater part of the damage, but if you average out all of the damage together, it's pretty much even. A little bit of team damage coming out from Wess onto Fiend right there. Ended up catching Maid towards the end of that. The side air actually putting Maid into some team damage on top of Experience. Yo, the unarmed down air. Experience is going off stage in the unarmed, getting KOs, moves over to the left side, grabs a double. He's going crazy.
Bro, that movement bait was clean. Weapon toss out, and he faded in to make it look like he would go for GC ground pound into the wall. Instead, faded back last second to trip him up, and then still closed out another. Maid is going to fall. Experience does fall shortly after, so at least they minimized the damage this time, but they haven't been able to strike first. They need to start doing that ASAP, and they're missing out on some strings. You can't be dropping those. Every single little bit of damage left behind is going to be that much worse as the game comes closer.
I mean, look at how many games we've already seen that struggle to find the continuity. That was a beautiful deal, like ground pound coming out from Fiend. But they struggle to find the continuity in the 2v1 team combos. We've seen so many drop today.
That's been a huge theme of the day,
actually. Number. So many 2v1s have gone to the one person because of those drop combos. And if that's happening to the blue team, they're going to struggle here because Experience and Maid are on the same page.
Yeah, that Sandstorm boom you said, there was the game 5 that happened because they didn't close it. I believe it was on Cutie at the time, and now we're going to see one fall. Maid might get closed, Experience might get closed out over here on the left, but good save from Maid to stop Wess from going out there to find that side air.
Over on the left side, Fiend went for a gravity cancel neutral signature on the Sword of Hattori, and somehow Experience found perfect priority, perfect timing to hit the ground pound and interrupt that gravity cancel neutral signature and find the KO.
Fiend definitely at least looking a lot better here in this game. Is on his last stock, but he's in the middle of the fray and he's making it work. You need Fiend to pop off. Like we said, he is a big combo starter. He is a clip machine. And if you can't line up those D-lights to allow Wess to close it out, especially with Axe in hand, you're going to be asking for trouble. But they do have a lead. Wess is going to line up that. There we go. Close it on the right. He missed the recovery.
That was a little bit of a bold pick. I don't know why he really went for the recovery there.
I figured it would be a GC neutral light, to be honest.
Something
but like
something to send more to the right.
Yeah.
Because the up wasn't going to KO. If you send to the right, that sets up a further edge guard. Because he was only in the orange. So that was an interesting choice from Wess. Maybe he was trying to hit the bottom side of it so he would get the spike down. I'm not sure.
Experience is going to have to go in sweat beats, but gets the reversal there with the Saren. Actually gets the ground touch, so Wess has to fight his way back. Meanwhile, Maid doing everything he can to try and line up for Fiend. That's a Tori, so he doesn't really have much leeway to work with here. That's going to be a great recovery punish, though. Now they get the 2v1.
Wess is just chasing into the air. Fiend is putting a lot of distance between himself and Experience. That's for good reason. He's going to let Wess take the lead here.
Looking for that nair. He's going to be able to get back onto stage, but Wess and Fiend being very careful about when they decide to go in, does not get the closeout. Oh no, accidentally hits Fiend! That's a huge misplay. Once again, Sparky, yet another 2v1 that hasn't been working out in favor of the team with the 2.
Oh, is Experience going to take this one? He's definitely more known as a 2v2 player than a 1v1 player, and Wess is kind of known as both.
Wess looking for the Axe desync before he's not going to be able to close it out. One recovery on a miss spot. It looked like he was looking for a dodgy, but that's going to be Experience popping off on that one. He made it work again. That's like the 3rd time today on the stage. Look at, like, Experience is in the screen. Like, his eyes are wide open. You better be hyped up after that.
And I just heard we're going to get the graph from the first one. Look at it. Oh my gosh, that wedge is so big from Experience, dude. Same thing with Maid. Look how long those stocks lasted. And then look at Fiend. Look how long that's... there we go. We have a much more even game. The graphs are much more even. It was last stock red for both Experience and Wess at the end of it. Just night and day difference, but in the end, it may not matter.
Yeah.
Because Experience still took it. You saw him pop off. The mental of Experience is like his best friend and also his worst enemy. If he gets in his head too much, that's when he starts to spiral. But when he has the momentum like this right now, I think he's all but unstoppable.
We never see that spiral as much in 2s. Like, that's the biggest difference with Experience. Like, when he has someone, he's like almost relying on him to like make the clutch plays. He always does. And instead of what should be a 1-to-1 set right now, looking at 2-0, it's already shown before. Like we said, we don't see a lot of international matchups before, but it seems like Maid and Experience understand how to deal with this very aggressive team of South America. Wess and Fiend, they can't make any more mistakes. They're down 2-0.
You're seeing the D-Light into the side air come out from Maid. Experience taking a lot of damage here, and virtually kind of nobody else is. Maid is in the orange, if anything, but Wess and Fiend, man, they're sitting pretty in the yellow. Nice down air, makes a connection, grabs both with that neutral light as well. You see Fiend starting to feel some confidence with the dash D-Light off the stage.
D-Light side is going to send him back off stage too. They've had complete stage control. Here goes Fiend to go try and chase that victory. Experience going to get his way back on, but luckily for them, because they separated him, Wess was able to seal the deal on Maid, and they shortly after get them very hot start for the blue team.
Wess coming in with the down air on the Lance, the recovery from Fiend's sword. Maid putting some time on that soft platform, giving himself a little bit of room, but Wess and Fiend, man, I said Experience looked unstoppable. I mean, Maid is like right there behind him as well, but all of a sudden, a huge turn from Wess and Fiend with a gigantic lead. They're going to be looking to take out Fiend first, probably. Lower defense, very damaged. Fiend over on the edge, you saw that cannon ground pound coming in from Experience, didn't make contact.
Yeah, if there's any big difference I'm seeing, Sparky, is the energy shift I'm seeing in Fiend's play. He's getting a lot more combo starters, and he's actually not like overextending. He was trying so hard to force something before, and he would just get punished by Maid because he was trying to chase Experience. which is going to allow Experience to get the reversal afterwards. You have to be very careful about your stage positioning off stage against them. Luckily for them, though, they get rid of Wess. Fiend still holding on to his first stock, so he's playing significantly better compared to those first 2 games.
It was looking like they wanted to juggle him. Maid was jumping up there with the neutral airs on the blasters, but Fiend was actually able to land. That side air does make a connection, even though it's on the right side of the stage. Yo, if they get this, because Maid is right there on his tail.
What an incredible route Wess took. He didn't panic. He stood still. He knew he had time with that extremely long charge you could get off that Lance recovery. But if you freaked out, you were getting caught by Nair. You were getting caught on the left-hand side if you spot dodged a little bit too early. That could have been tragic.
That was great composure coming out from Wess, and he knows he has to. They're down 0-2 in this set. We talked about it earlier, man. No one wants to go into the elimination bracket. Wess sending Maid down. Fiend with the save. Experience there to add up more damage, but Fiend with the counter punish, hitting the side air, splitting up the red team.
I think Wess is understanding, like, they're getting hyper-aggressive off stage. They want the big play, so he's just punishing for it. Oh, no, he's going to accidentally catch Fiend! He had such a good play there, but it's going to end up being Fiend who goes down. He does get back on past Experience, but that changes things up a bit.
If he hit his opponent and Fiend at the same time, that is 100% a good trade for the blue team. That's a little bit of a rough spot, though, because Wess, very damaged. You see Maid was already looking for the KO. He went for the sidelight, was waiting to see how Wess reacted before finding his follow-up. He's been doing a lot of sidelight into the recoveries for the KOs. Might not matter. D-light into the side air from Fiend, changing his attention to Experience.
Trying to take care of him, Experience, looking for the follow-up off of Maid, but Maid didn't really believe enough in that position to try and maybe go for a Nair or try and catch him with the recovery. But Wess, unarmed, doing his best to try and get in. It's going to be a GC D-light into a Sair, and now we're at an even game.
Fiend, he wants the KO onto Experience, or at least to put out a little bit more damage until Experience is in KO damage. They can find the knockout neutral, and Fiend just barely holding on.
Blue team barely ever so slightly in the lead, but you do not want to have this come down to a 2v1 Fiend. Gonna catch the anti-air. That's a great job catching Experience, and now they have Maid off stage.
Oh, look at that weapon toss. No way! No way! What a weapon toss coming out from Fiend. That was like from the left third of the stage. The arc on that was gorgeous. The Hail Mary, and it connected.
Most beautiful pass we've seen all day, and Fiend hovering over that soft platform to make sure that Maid doesn't have a free recovery, and catches him with the side air. They are not done yet. That's going to get us to a 2-1 position. And again, you think back to that game too. This could have been 2-1 in favor of Wess Fiend potentially if they stopped that 2v1 that Experience was able to like win out of. But nobody's been able to comfortably win that. Even right there, you saw they were being very careful about where they stood, so Maid couldn't sneak one out.
Yep. Oh man, that team KO. Even with that, they still had enough of a lead to solidify the victory. There was just so much chaos right there with the beautiful neutral signature from Fiend's spear, and that was the final KO. I'm still on that weapon toss, man.
Yeah.
Like, we mentioned Fiend being a cheeky player earlier. He helped, like, I don't want to say use a pun here, so forgive me for this. He spearheaded the weapon toss game and how you incorporate that into your play. People like Snowy have probably learned from the way that Fiend throw their weapon.
That had perfect fade away from the three-point line.
It was
like
beautiful,
man. He still had his hand up at the end before it went out. So, like, if you could make someone feel pressure like that while weapon toss is coming through and controlling the stage, you're able to sneak one out, and they're going quick and in a hurry.
Okay. I was worried he was going to be below Experience, and Experience was going to find the edge guard to confirm that KO and knock Fiend out in the orange. That would have been a huge lead for the red team, but no. They're going to deny that one. Blue team is just a little bit in the lead. That cannon, dude!
This is a big reversal potential right now, but Maid very smartly on Maid. He knew the Experience was too far out there. Just get in the way. If somebody's going to get hit, let it be you, because you have way less damage. Don't let Experience or any of the sweat beads fall in that position.
So overall, the damage is actually pretty even between these two, because Maid and Experience are in the orange, Fiend is in the red, but Wess is kind of in the yellow. The only problem with Wess and Fiend here is when you're that disjumped, then Fiend gets knocked out. They do a bunch of damage onto Wess. All of a sudden, he's in the red. Fiend respawns. He's in the yellow, and you just kind of go back and forth and back and forth. And it's sort of like a bad pacing for the game. You basically want to be even with your teammate.
Even as possible right now. 1-for-1 trade a little while ago. Experience trying to catch that weapon toss on Fiend, and Fiend just trying to walk his way on. Surprisingly, they were more hyper-focused on him than trying to make a power play on the Wess, but I think it's just because Wess had Axe in hand. You don't want to accidentally make a mistake over him and lose that to that Axe recovery when Experience was on the soft platform.
Beautiful spot dodge from Maid to get through that Axe neutral light from Wess, and the punish with the GC D-Light recovery into the KO. Just beautiful gameplay coming out from Maid as well. We've been talking a lot about Experience, and again, that's because he's giving us like 12 out of 10 gameplay, and meanwhile Maid is giving like 9 out of 10 gameplay. So still incredible gameplay.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, doesn't matter how many KOs one person has on the other. The only thing that matters is that W in the column, because if you don't have that, who cares if you got 5 KOs by yourself? Maid and Experience are very good at capitalizing with each other, and Experience is going to capitalize big on Wess. That puts them down, and Experience still holding on to that first stock as Fiend also falls.
Wess on final stock, Fiend on final stock. Maid and Experience up 2-1 in this best-of-5 set. They have 5 stocks to their name right now. Wess and Fiend got to find something real quick, and it's not all the way up there because you're going to find the blast zone, but it's going to be off the bottom. Ground pound for Maid's blasters. Fiend in the 1v2 of his life.
Bro, they took him out back. That was bad. Like, Wess had no shot. It was nothing he could do because Fiend kept getting separated. Now Fiend is just going to jump into the blast zone. Maid and Experience do not join the company of everyone else who's been on the higher seeds of this bracket and dropping down to that limb side. Maid and Experience now get a very good trip up towards top 8. They have now confirmed themselves as one of the remaining teams in the top 8 winners semis position.
Maid and Experience coming out in that 3-1 with an extremely dominant game